So I finally scored an Imanishi Latte 400 grit. Been after this stone for quite a while. Every time I check Chef Knives to Go, it's out of stock. I've put myself on their email reminder list, and I've missed 2 opportunities to pick it up. By the time I get there, it's usually gone. But I finally grabbed one, and last time I checked, which I think was a couple days ago, it was still in stock. So if you guys are after this particular stone, get it while it's there. When this first arrived, it was really out of flat. I had to lap it pretty aggressively to get all the high spots out of it. It took a little bit of work to do that. I've been letting it soak probably for 30 or 40 minutes now. I've read a few, well actually maybe 2 forum posts that discuss this stone, and both agree that if you don't soak it longer than say 10 minutes, the stone is very thirsty and you have to constantly apply water to it. However, if you let it soak for about 30 to 40 minutes, it really absorbs just about all the water it's going to, and it holds it very well. I've been interested in this stone after watching, who was it? Mr. Knife Fanatic, I believe that was his YouTube channel. I watched his video on it, thought it was just a pretty stone. Looks very much like the Nubatama 1K. It's got that speckled pattern. I'm gonna use it in 2 ways here. I'm just testing it out. I'm gonna use it with the knife flat on the stone to simulate like a single bevel knife, or in this case flattening out and thinning the knife. And then I'm going to use it, of course, with the knife inverted so that I'm sharpening the edge of the blade. I just want to see how much mud is generated and what the stone feels like. Let me cut the edge off in case I slip, as I have a tendency to do. So far, I'm not seeing any abrasive really release. I am getting some swarf development from the metal. Leaves a really nice scratch pattern. Yeah, it leaves a really nice scratch pattern. And the stone looks like it's loaded up pretty well. And I got almost a zero abrasion, or I'm sorry, I got almost zero grit release. I thought this stone was supposed to get muddy as you used it, but apparently not. So I'm going to generate a little bit of mud myself here, get some of that load up out. Let's see how she behaves. It's interesting. I really thought this stone would produce a mud all on its own, but that doesn't appear to be the case. Now, of course, putting a mud on it gives you a little bit more of a hazy kind of finish. As you can see, the tip's still kind of shiny, whereas the rest of the body has this kind of hazy look to it, and that's from the mud. It like creates almost like a sandblast finish on the steel that's really pretty. But if that's not the effect you're going for, obviously you don't want to create a mud on your stone. You want to rinse it off. I just wanted to see what the scratches look like with the mud. And I think it looks really nice. But I am a little disappointed. I had to create the mud myself. But I have to do that with quite a few other stones, so. All right, let me rinse this off, get this cleaned up, and we'll start checking it out on the main bevel. You know, I was going to lap through the stone again and get all that buildup removed, but I actually want to see how well it cuts with the buildup on there. So, I've killed the edge. Let's see how long it takes to bring it back. Now this is a really hard stone. This is harder than what I was led to believe. Reading the forums, the description of this stone said it was hard to a point, but softer than, say, a Shapton 1K. This stone is a lot harder than that Shapton 1K. I would put this pretty close to, oh gosh, this is close, very close to my new Batama 1 and 2K. It's that hard. I love hard stones, so this is right up my alley. I am putting a little pressure down here, guys. I'd say probably, I don't know, 5 pounds. Don't have a burr yet. All right, I've got a burr across this whole edge. Now I used quite a bit of pressure there, like I said, about 4 or 5 pounds. On these passes, I'm going to go light pressure to see how it works. Do it. Now I got a burr on that side, so it works with heavy and with light pressure. I'm going to clean this burr up, but before I do, I'm going to go ahead and get this buildup removed. I understand now why it was so difficult to lap. The stone is very, very hard. Alright, got most of that buildup removed. Let's get this burr taken off. Now you can remove the burr in many ways. I like to do edge into the stone, but you can also do edge trailing strokes. And I will also do edge trailing strokes occasionally, just depending upon my mood. I don't have a preference for one over the other. They both work. I've seen guys do lateral burr removal where they do the stone, or they do the knife like that, and they just pull it laterally. I've never tried it that way, but if it works for you, by all means do it. I just heard it pop off right there. I don't know if you heard it. That's another benefit to having a hard stone. You can get a lot more feedback and actually hear what's happening at the edge. I think that's plenty. I'm kind of taking my time with this because I really want to see what this edge is like off this stone. I've kind of been on a one stone kick here lately where I want one stone that can reprofile and put a really nice edge on a knife. The Chosera 400 right now is reigning king for doing that. It just leaves such a fine edge that you wouldn't believe it was a 400 grit stone. That's my shop towel. Looks like I still got a hang up right here, so I probably got a burr left. And of course I got water on my counter again. So I still got a little something going on there. I'm just gonna give it a quick strop. Get whatever that is off. Much better. Give it a little bit more of a strop. That edge is better at 400 grit than my Kershaw injection I did the other night on my Norton stones all the way up to, what was it, 8,000 grit? And this side looks a little scuffed up, and the pattern and the scratches are just kind of all over the place as opposed to this side, so I'm going to clean that up just a little bit. I gotta be careful here because I've got an edge on this knife now, and if I slip like I have a tendency to do, I'll come off the stone like that and then rake across the tips of my fingers. I've done that countless times, so I gotta be really careful here. It's looking pretty good. Of course, the tip wants to be a standout pain in the ass, as usual. Now this side has that hazy kind of shot blast, sand blast finish from where I had the stone coated in mud. So I'm just going to go over it and get rid of that hazy finish. Not because it's ugly, but because I want everything to be uniform. That looks good, that looks good. I think we're all done. Again, to get rid of all this buildup, just gonna take my diamond plate, go over it. Get this all cleaned up, guys, and we'll come back. I'll show you this edge. Alrighty, here is my finished edge. You know, that's awful freaking polished for a 400 grit. Surely that strop didn't do that much. I mean, hell, that's a pretty damn polished edge. What is going on? I'm not sure, guys. I guess my strop polished out the scratches pretty well. You can still see them though. They're quite clear. Especially on this side. This side always comes through better for some reason. I guess it's just the way the light reflects. You can really see the scratch pattern. All in, this is a fantastic stone. I really like hard stones that, you know, are slow in releasing their abrasive. The Sharpening Pros are a perfect example of that. Those are among my most favorite stones, without a doubt. Used to be the Nanawa Pro stones or the Chaucera stones, but due to their cracking issues, I no longer promote them. This one though is yeah, it gets my vote. It's not expensive. It's around $50. I can't remember exactly what I paid. It was $49, something like that. Hard, slow wearing. A do-it-all stone, can reprofile and leave a fantastic edge. What's not to like? If you guys have any questions, of course, always leave them down below. Expect to see this stone in a few more videos. I'm going to play around with it some more. Right now, though, it's getting a thumbs up for me. I'm digging it. Appreciate y'all watching. Have a good one.